Now that it's 3:05. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome everyone. If you're new to Noor Al-Fajr, my name is Noor. Welcome to our round three sales updates webinar. If you happen to be from a country outside of the United States, where the country quota has not been met yet, and you'll be able to participate in round two, this webinar would not be that helpful to you. Inshallah, we'll have a specific version for the global countries that'll be able to take advantage of round two, inshallah, tomorrow. And so you can go ahead and stay tuned there. In addition, if you've already purchased a package, you can join us in the next hour for our welcome webinar for those who are able to secure a package during the first round of sales. This specific webinar is set for those of you who unfortunately were not able to pick up a package in the first round of sales and are from a country such as the United States, in addition to Canada, the UK, and quite a few other countries in Europe, where the country quota was exhausted in the first round of sales. You weren't able to purchase a package in the first round of sales. And so now we're waiting for that round three. Once the remaining quota can be opened up to the rest of these countries, and you can go ahead and inshallah purchase your Hajj package. So hopefully, inshallah, we can give you some really important information today and help you prepare for this next opportunity you'll have. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Bismillah. So inshallah, we're going to go through a few topics today, including Nusuk updates, what you need to know in regards to making sure you're well prepared, our checklist that we provide from our end, package information so that you can take a look at that. We're well aware that right now in Nusuk, there's not much you can look at. And then, of course, how we plan on supporting you during sales day. And again, if you're new here, Noor Al-Fajr is one of the companies based out of the United States that'll inshallah be supporting packages with two service providers this year, including Ithraa AlKhair and Al-Rajhi. Most of our packages that are custom and specific to the United States are with Ithraa AlKhair. And inshallah, our goal is to try to provide you that in-person human touch throughout your whole entire experience, right? With the digitization of Hajj, we really feel like the personal aspect of Hajj has kind of gotten lost. So we want to make sure we're bringing back our team to help you here step by step and make sure you have someone you can actually talk to throughout this whole experience. It's truly a once in a lifetime journey. It's you're fulfilling your third pillar, and so we want to make sure you're well supported throughout it, whether it be with Nusuk and navigating all the challenges that come up with Nusuk, to the guidance, of course, of our wonderful religious scholars, and then the ground support of our wonderful Makkah team. Now, at this point, you should be at the point where you would, what is considered step 9 on Nusuk, right? The step to go ahead and book your package. If you're still struggling with some of the other previous steps, we're well aware that there's some folks who realized a little bit later that sales was upon us for Hajj 2025. So if you're still trying to get verified or topping up your e-wallet or linking your family accounts, we have a whole suite of YouTube videos that can inshallah help you with that. There's plenty of tutorials that will step-by-step guide you through all these processes up on our YouTube channel. And we've just got a few displays here for you to take a look at. And inshallah, if you're struggling with any of those steps, please do go take a look at the videos that we have up online already. And if you're still struggling, feel free to give a call to our help desk or to our, basically that's set up for 24/7 support. And they'll be able to help you, inshallah, with whatever issue you're struggling with. Okay, so the main thing that everyone here is concerned with, right? What are the updates in regards to sales? So everyone here should be familiar with this timeline. This was presented by the ministry last month in January, and included the fact that the specified country sales would happen on February 9th and that the global sales would happen on February 14th. So February 9th, which was a few days ago, was indeed the day that specified country sales began. And what they meant by specified country sales was basically the packages that are identified on Nusuk as custom packages. And what made a package custom versus public was whether it included a specific group flight from a country. So, for example, if a package included a flight from the United States provided by the service provider, that would be considered a custom package or a specified country package, right? And now that phase of sales has completed. Inshallah, the next phase of sales is going to be on February 14th, which is going to be the global package sales and include the public packages. Public packages are those packages that don't include a flight, and you would have to pick up your own flight through the Almosafer system, which I'll go ahead and talk a bit about later on, inshallah. Now, the main thing that I want everyone here to realize with this is, of course, that you'll notice there isn't a round three mentioned. And inshallah, I'll go ahead and explain why in a minute. But the final thing I wanted to note here is that if you come from a country like the United States, where the full quota was used during the first round of sales, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate on February 9th in the global package sales. Although, don't lose hope, we do have some opportunities for you to be able to pick up a package later, inshallah. Okay, so let's take a look at Nusuk by the numbers, right? So now the whole entire B2C project or direct Hajj project, which is what you would know as the Nusuk platform for Hajj or the Nusuk Hajj platform, serves 126 countries. Approximately 104 of these, by the way, were included as part of the specified country sales. So there's only about 20 or something odd countries that are going to have global packages open to them in a few days, inshallah. Excuse me. Now, in addition to these being the countries served, the total amount of Hajis or like the total quota for the Hajj project on Nusuk is 35,000. So that's basically between all 126 of these countries, 35,000 Hajis or visas have been allocated. Now, each country is allocated a quota based on a certain percentage of the Muslim population, right? And for here in the United States, that's approximately 3,500. If you happen to be joining us from one of the other countries, your number may look different. For example, the UK looks different, Canada looks different, but every country has a designated quota amount. And now, how I had mentioned earlier, for the United States, we have a very large demand. This full amount of 3,500 approximately, the ministry doesn't give that exact number out in advance of sales, was exhausted during the first round of sales, meaning 3,500 packages were purchased for the United States. Now, what this means is we basically have no available quota technically at this moment. Everything's been sold out. In addition, on a side note, there's two camps within Mina, which you may be familiar with, Al-Muasim and Majar al-Kabsh. These are just the occupancies available or capacity, available in each of those camps, 5,000 for Majar al-Kabsh, 30,000 for Muasim. And inshallah, I'll go ahead and mention why this is important in a bit. The final bit over here is the fact that we have this announcement from the ministry that within the first 4 hours of Nusuk going live on the 9th, 20,000 people had purchased their Hajj packages for Hajj 2025. Now, if you can do the math there real quick, between 35,000 being the total quota, 20,000 being the amount gotten purchased in the first 4 hours, we're left with about 15,000 packages. Of those 15,000, about another 5,000 have slowly been purchased in the last few days, leaving with us an approximate quota of 10,000 that we have left over going into global sales. Now, what's going to happen during global sales is these 20 or so odd countries where there was no packages available flights will be able to log in and purchase the package starting on February 14th, the date set by the ministry. In addition to these countries, any of the countries that didn't exhaust their quota during the first round of sales will be able to continue purchasing packages. For example, if you're from Italy, Italy still had approximately, I don't know, several hundred seats left as part of their quota. So inshallah, if you're, someone who is, for example, in Italy, you would be able to take part in the second round of sales, even though you had custom flights available to you in the first round of sales. Um, all this to say that, unfortunately, for us in the United States and a couple of other countries, we won't be able to take part in round two. Why do we talk about a round three? Why, outside of me, you'll notice uh, a lot of other companies, it's pretty much kind of openly being discussed that there will be a round three. Um, what's going to happen is, every single country is given this specified quota. We know certain countries will not be able to fulfill their quota. Those countries basically have more quota available to them than demand, the opposite scenario of what we have in the US. Um, and once they're given their purchase period, um, and after a certain amount of time, um, once sales have died out in those countries, whatever remaining quota left will go ahead and be redistributed and basically offered back to the countries where there's a lot of demand, such as the US, UK, during the third round of sales for us to be able to purchase additional packages. Now, the exact amount of visas that will be available is not known because it's basically going to be whatever's the leftovers, although we're not expecting too much additional sales during round two. But we'll inshallah keep you up to date in our group chats as we get that information from the ministry. In addition, while the 19th has been set as the tentative date, there hasn't been an official confirmation on that date or time just yet for the third round of sales, since it is technically dependent on how the first and second round looks. So for all this information, it's really important that you stay in our group chats so that as we get the real-time updates, we're able to go ahead and give that information to you as well. Now, what can you do to make sure you're prepared for this third round of sales? Now, most of you will be in one of two scenarios, right? One is you tried for the first round of sales, you were there, you had some of the technical issues with the OTP, or you were unaware of the exact time sales started. For one reason or the other, you tried for the first round of sales and you weren't able to pick up a package. The other option is you just weren't aware at all about what was going on with Nusuk and you found out late and you registered late and weren't able to take part in the first round of sales. In either scenario, what you want to make sure going into round three is that you're well prepared and well informed. And the first step in order to make sure that that's the case is to make sure you're joining our updates groups. So we have our WhatsApp updates group. That's probably where you were able to learn about this webinar in the first place. But if you aren't in there, inshallah, definitely join us there. In addition, we've also added on a Telegram group. It seems that some people find that more comfortable and easy to use, and we're more than happy to go ahead and accommodate that. So we've got these two QR codes on the screen. Feel free to screenshot the page or scan the QR codes in order to join those groups, inshallah. The second step. Now, this is the step where we're telling you to have your preferred packages selected. Unfortunately, what you'll notice here, in Nusuk, if you are from a country where the quota has already been exhausted, is that you can't actually heart anything, you can't actually configure a package into your cart. All of the stuff has been grayed out, right? So basically the ability to do this is no longer there for you. And unfortunately, from everything we know so far, will not be available once again until the third round of sales actually goes live. So unfortunately, you won't be able to go ahead and prepare beforehand like you were able to do last time, at least within Nusuk. This doesn't mean that we can't prepare. We've got our alternative options available for you, which would basically consist of having those configuration links ready. So inshallah, we'll explain that to you in a bit. So we'll get to how to prepare your configuration links, but of course, you got to first make sure you like the packages that you have a few packages that you like that are already that are still available in Nusuk, right? So what I would recommend here is definitely checking out our public Google Drive, which I'll share in a little bit again, and checking out our packages 360 video on YouTube, where we do a full breakdown of each of the different types of packages, so you can make an informed decision about what the best options would be for you. As of now, in addition to all the stuff I've mentioned, Majaro Kapsh still has some limited availability, so you could consider a package with Majaro Kapsh. If this information changes between now and sales, of course, we'll keep you up to date as well. Um, Now, we've talked quite a bit about how in the first round of sales, custom packages were the only available option. We've also mentioned how in the second round of sales, packages will be available. Those are the ones without the flights. Now, in the third round of sales, both of these options will be available to you. So you'll be able to go ahead and utilize either one. Excuse me. Excuse me. I apologize about that. I'm sitting here in Makkah and it's 3:30 in the morning. So um, let's go ahead and continue here. Um, what packages does NAP offer? We'll have custom packages and we'll have our public global packages available, right? Um, However, if you're from the United States, simply because checking out with the custom package is going to be a lot quicker and easier, we really encourage you guys to take a look at this specific version of the packages, which is the custom packages, and try to choose options from here versus trying to do a global package or a public package and doing your own flight with it. The ability to or the option to basically do your flight in Nusuk is there, but it's very difficult. It's glitchy. It takes time. With the way sales goes and how chaotic everything is, it's a lot easier to check out with one of these options. The other plus point with these options is, of course, the flight is included as part of the package, and so you know your final cost right off the bat if you're looking at the screen. For example, what we've gone ahead and done is basically giving you the final price here of what you would have in your cart once you go ahead and add the package with everything included. And the main reason we've done that is so that you're able to top up your e-wallet to the right amount and you know the amount you actually have to pay instead of having to go through all these screens just to figure out what the cost is to you. In addition to the Saudi Riyal amount, which is accurate to the halala, we've given you the amounts in US dollars as well. This amount is a rough estimate, right? Because we've used the currency exchange rate of 3.75 between the Saudi Riyal and the US dollar. But the final amount is going to depend on your financial institution, the credit card, debit card, bank account that you use to top up your e-wallet, what conversion rate they give you, and what additional fees they may charge you. So just keep that in mind. But this dollar amount kind of helps give you a better idea as well. These are our global packages. As you'll notice, we have a few that we're supporting this year, inshallah. And please note that these come without flights, so you'd have to go ahead and choose a flight through the Almosafer platform in Nusuk if you went ahead and chose one of these packages. Okay, so that's just a full overview of all the custom packages that we'll be supporting this year, inshallah. So these are packages with flights from the US. And these are all the public packages, so packages with without flights included that we will be supporting this year, inshallah. So what is Almosafer? I've mentioned it a couple times. Almosafer is basically a booking platform for flights and such, similar to Booking.com or Google Flights. It's based out of the Middle East. It's like their version of Booking.com, essentially. And so what Nusuk has done is taken this platform and embedded it into the Nusuk platform so that people are able to go ahead and search up a customized flight and check out with their package in addition to this custom flight on Nusuk. So if you take a look, this is kind of how it'll look in Nusuk for you. We've taken these screenshots from when Nusuk was live. Unfortunately, at the moment, you wouldn't be able to do this, but this is to give you kind of an idea or preview of how it looks. Excuse me. You'll notice the powered by Almosafer here in the right corner. In addition, you'll see that you've got the option to search the dates. You'll have to choose the actual dates of your package. Just be aware that if you're coming from the United States or basically the Western world, that there's a big time zone difference and there's a long flight involved. So you have to leave early enough in order to make sure you arrive on the correct date. So for example, if your package starts on the 31st, you would leave the United States on the 30th at the very latest in order to make it there by the 31st, right? And in addition to that, you do have the option to make this multi-city and to change your departure and arrival to what works best for you, right? So you could, for example, we have Medina first packages. You could set it up if you're from Atlanta to go Atlanta to Medina and then Jeddah back to Atlanta. So that way you don't have to go back to Medina. And then after Hajj from Makkah, you just go directly to Jeddah. Um, there's some disclaimers on Nusuk related to the departure dates and arrival dates. Basically, just making sure you choose something that works in line with your package, because if you lose any dates because of the difference of the flights, there's no accommodation or compensation provided by Nusuk. Some of the things that you should consider, right, is the fact that the price is going to vary on this platform. It's a live platform. It's not a set group price for the flights. And so it could be significantly higher than you may see if you go to the Almosafer platform right now or the Google flights right now. The only time that prices get locked in is once you're checking out with the package. And viewing a package, well, okay. The other thing basically is just on pricing, the fact that nothing's guaranteed until you're locked and ready to go. Okay. So for selecting a flight in Nusuk, what we would say is keep in again consideration what I mentioned earlier as far as date leaving from the US versus arriving in the KSA. One of the other things to keep in mind is the length of your layover, right? A lot of people, unfortunately, last year who did these customized flights didn't keep enough time between their local flight and then the flight that they purchased on Nusuk and ended up missing their international flight. So you want to make sure you're not in that scenario. In addition, the arrival time in Saudi Arabia, you want to make sure that, for example, if you are your package starts on May 31st, if you arrive May 31st at 3 a.m., you're not going to have access to your room until much later in the day, 6, 7 p.m. on the 31st. So if you can time your arrival so that you're getting there in the evening, it's going to be better for you, right? In addition, the final note there is that all of your transportation to and from the airports is going to be covered by your service provider. What you are going to have the option to do with the global package is to upgrade the type of transportation you're using. Okay, the final point on doing the preferred packages, excuse me, is the fact that we recommend choosing a gateway flight. What we mean by this is, say, for example, you're in Atlanta, we recommend instead of doing a flight search in Almosafer in the platform on Nusuk from Atlanta to Makkah, choose, for example, if Turkish Airlines serves Atlanta Airport, set it up so that you buy your package or your flight within Nusuk from Istanbul to the KSA and then the KSA back to Istanbul, and you purchase your own flight outside of the system from the US to Istanbul and back. And that will do a couple of things for you. Number one, make it a little bit easier when you're trying to check out. So because it's, a lot quicker and a lot more options in some of these cities. The other reason why it's going to be more cost effective. And yeah, so excuse me. you'll be able to take advantage of the multi-city options as well as being able to travel from your country, from the USA to your international country of choice, whether that be the UAE, Dubai, Amman, Istanbul, any of these countries that are close to Doha, close to the KSA, right? Okay. Um, if you were also interested in traveling in business class, this is the one case where if you're from the US, we would recommend doing a public package versus a custom, because unfortunately, with the group tickets on the flights, we're unable to upgrade them to business class. Okay. Um, Once you've figured out what your five packages are, I, sorry, what you would like, what your priority packages and what additional packages you would like. We recommend keeping your configuration links ready, right? So configuration links, again, Machado Cups, there's a little bit of availability. You may want to keep a cups package ready to go, but keep four non-cups backups ready to go. Okay, and feel free to take a picture of this QR code. This is our public Google Drive um, folder where we've included all the information for all of our different packages in quite a bit of detail that will probably answer most, if not all, of your questions. And feel free to take a look at that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the group chat as well. That's how important I think this is. Give me one minute here. Okay. And so I'm putting that in the group chat. In addition, let me go ahead and resume sharing my screen. This is our public Google Drive folder. And then we've got our custom packages and our global packages, right? And then with the custom packages, we've got everything here. We've got the flyers with the scholars information on there. So you'll be able to see all the different cities we're supporting, inshallah, and which scholars will be supporting them. In addition, we've got our detailed package information, including configuration links, which we're going to use in a second, and then detailed flight information. So we've got the departure city, the exact flight number, all the whole entire itinerary basically until you come back, including layovers and layover information, so that inshallah you can make a well-prepared, informed decision for you and your family. Um, let's take a look at how to use those configuration links, right? So let's go ahead. We went ahead and set up a demonstration account or a dummy account that we can go ahead and show you different things. Inshallah, what we want to go ahead and show you today is how to use the configuration links. Okay. Oh, okay. And while the OTP comes in, just give me one moment here, please. Okay, let's go ahead and put this OTP in. Okay. So the whole point of showing you guys how to use these configuration links is so that inshallah on the day of sales, since you're not able to put anything in your cart right now, you can go ahead and easily access your package, right? And so let's go ahead and go into our public drive here, right? If you haven't already taken a look at our packages and seen what the options look like and pricing and all that, you can go ahead and do that at your own convenience to help make an informed decision. And once you go ahead and know exactly what you're looking for, right? You can go ahead and go here to the Excel sheet that we have set up. Okay. You can go here to the Excel sheet that we have set up and save these configuration links. You can also, first of all, just go ahead and take this exact Excel sheet and have it open in a tab. Um, but if you want to go ahead and have the links for the specific packages you're interested in on a separate one, you can copy and paste them from here to make it easier for you. But say, for example, Ithraa 22 is the ideal package for me, and that's the one that I want to purchase during round three sales. You'll notice that there's a configuration link here. You just go ahead and copy that. You go to your dashboard, click on the browser up here. And actually, I just want to make sure my screen is showing this information properly. So click on the dashboard here. You have to be logged into your account first, and then you'll go ahead, paste, and it'll take you directly to the configuration for the package, right? Now, right now, you'll see it says reached full capacity. It's going to say that if your country quota is full. That doesn't mean that your package is full. And in fact, I know, this package is not full. It's got plenty of room in it. It was just a matter of the fact that the country quota was reached. So right now, you can't go past this page. You can just choose your, information, but you'll see there's no next button. It's because right now it's been blocked off because this is account is set up for the United States. Inshallah, on the day of sales, you'll be able to go ahead and continue the checkout process. The main idea is right now when you go to packages, you're not able to go through, right? Everything shows grayed out. So for example, this package is actually sold out because it says reach full capacity. Everything else you'll notice, this is one of our packages, 85, has plenty of room, and you'll see it's grayed out, but it doesn't show reached full capacity because it's available just in the country I'm sitting in, it's not available. So the idea is instead of on that day having to look through all this and dig through for the right package to save yourself some time, you just go ahead, have your configuration links ready, and that way you can check out within, inshallah seconds. Just think of it that way. Say, you log in, you come here, you want package, let's see here, this is package 24. Copy the link, go here, clear, paste, and you're here. From this page onwards, you just have to go through maybe 3 or 4 pages. You could easily check out within a minute, maximum 2 minutes. And now you'll notice here, see, they're giving you just the price with the package without including uh, even hotel room. You have to add that in. And then add the flights and everything. So the idea behind giving you the pricing over here as the total amount is so you also know how much you have to top up into your e-wallet because you'd also want to take care of that well before sales starts or continues, I should say. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on to our presentation. So again, you can go ahead. I put the link in the chat. It's also available as a QR code on screen. And I do apologize. I had said I'd put it in the group chat yesterday and I forgot to, so I'll go ahead and make sure I do that today. We've already done that demo. And so speaking of e-wallet, make sure your e-wallet is topped up to the full amount of the most expensive package you're looking for, right? So if your package that you're looking at with the flight is 42,000, you make sure you have 42,000 in your account ready to go before round three of sales. In addition, if you are doing it for two people, then you'd make sure you have 84,000, right? Whatever amount multiplied by the number of people. At this point, because we're so close to sales, we'd recommend using a credit card or debit card in order to ensure that your transaction is uploaded onto the e-wallet as soon as possible. We would advise against doing a bank transfer. In addition, we're well aware of the issues with some of the Visa credit cards, specifically if you have Bank of America or Chase, right? There is basically this added layer of security called 3D security by Visa that is restricting your transaction, right? So if you have Bank of America or Chase, you need to call the fraud department of your bank and specifically speak to them that I need to have this 3D security feature disabled so I can make my international payment. You may have to push a little bit and get escalated to someone who's in a more managerial level. Our office has been helping a lot of people through this process. And it is like over an hour to find the right person within these companies because of the fact that it seems to be a niche issue that only the more supervisory people are aware of. But definitely don't let them just hang up on you. Do insist on speaking to someone who can help disable this. And then make sure you're trying to do your top up while you're still on the call with the person. So tell them to hold on, try to do the payment. If it gets rejected, they should be able to see it on their end and be able to help you from there as well. The final note here on the payment front is there's actually this application within the United States called Cash App, if you're familiar with it. It's similar to Venmo or Zelle, and it's actually been successful. Like there's several Hajis who we've worked with who have had a successful time using Cash App to top up their e-wallet. So that's just another tool in your belt, inshallah, to get your e-wallet topped up in time. Okay, the final stretch of our webinar today. What is our game plan for sales day? Of course, there's a lot of stuff still up in the air. The ministry has to announce quite a bit for round three, including what remaining amount of quota we'll be working with, the exact date and time, inshallah. And so what we really, really suggest is to stick in our group chats and be aware of what's going on in those chats so that you're well aware of future updates. In addition, we of course always center ourselves around why we're doing this, which is for the pleasure of our Lord. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his help in taking us on Hajj, right? May Allah accept the intentions of all of you who are here and trying to go on Hajj first and foremost, and then inshallah make it easier for you going forward as well. And then the secondary step that we can do, the tying our camel bit of this, is providing you basically with a whole set of updates until round three sales starts, right? So until sales start, inshallah, we will be here. We will do these updates every day. Any new information that comes up from the ministry, we will go ahead and update in the group chats. In addition to doing our day of webathon, right? The last round of sales, if you were here with us, we had a live Zoom call going on. We're able to troubleshoot and try to help as many people as we could secure their packages. So inshallah, we'll go ahead and do that again. And one of the things we do is we start that in advance of sales, at least a couple hours beforehand, to make sure we're getting to all of your questions and concerns, showing you how to use the configuration links, practicing those sorts of things. And then finally, and most importantly, just getting into Nusuk early on before the heavy traffic starts slowing down the website and starts slowing down that OTP request system. So The final thing here is the information for our offices. You've got plenty of ways to meet us, or sorry, to connect with us, including our WhatsApp group and Telegram. Our link tree will actually take you to our YouTube channel where we've got a lot of detailed information out. If you check out our Instagram, you'll get to see a lot of detailed information on our scholars. And then, of course, if you have any questions, any concerns, anything you still need assistance with, we've got our 24/7 help desk that you can reach out to right over here at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to screenshot this page as well. And yeah, so hopefully, inshallah, you found this beneficial and that we're able to help you make your way to Hajj, inshallah, through, of course, the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But these are kind of all the tools in your belt you have available to you to help you have a successful sales day on the round three sales day. We've got about 15 minutes left on this scheduled webinar. So I'll go ahead and take a look at the questions and see if any questions where you feel like I'm not able to answer them on this call, feel free to join us over there. I'll put in the link. It starts at 9 o'clock New York time. So please do just consider that in your equation. That's like 8 o'clock Dallas/Chicago time, 7 o'clock Denver time, 6 o'clock LA or West Coast time, right? And the benefit of those office hours is basically it's a meeting, so you can come off of mute, ask your questions in detail. I'm more than happy to go into detail because that's a dedicated space for that. So I don't feel like I have to rush to make sure I get to wrap things up in time. So I really suggest you join us there, inshallah, in about 2 hours. For office hours. Okay. Or actually, sorry, an hour and a half-ish. Is there Canadian quota available? Unfortunately not. Canada was one of the countries that did go ahead and exhaust its quota in the first round. And so, Brother Kareem, you would also be joining the US in round 3. I want to accompany my parents and they have leftover money in their e-wallet after purchasing their package. Can they transfer it to my e-wallet or can I be added to their family? Unfortunately, because they've now purchased packages, you won't be able to be linked onto their account yet. So you'll have to go ahead and have your whole package purchased and everything. And actually, I don't think even after that you'll be able to link your accounts. The link option is basically only available when the e-wallets of the secondary family members haven't been activated. In addition to that, it can't be transferred over to you, so you would have to go ahead and do a fresh top up to your e-wallet. I do apologize. Unfortunately, that is the option available. Can we preview packages in round 2? Unfortunately, from everything we've been told so far and everything we see so far, no, you will not be able to, which is why we go ahead and give all that information in our public Google folder so that you can at least get all this information right. With those configuration links, will we be able to add those packages to our cart right now? Again, unfortunately not. You won't be able to do that until packages go live. This was the case for round 3 sales last year as well. In case something changes, right? In case the ministry decides, okay, we'll do a reset between round 2 and 3, we will keep you up to date in the group chats. The warning that, the reason why I hesitate on putting our round 3 sales or sales update webinars up on YouTube is the fact that I'm concerned about outdated information, right? This information is up to date according to what's out today. But the ministry changes things all the time, right? They make changes. If you remember for round 1 sales, for those who are aware, the first timing was set for 2 p.m. Makkah time, and then they changed it to 7 p.m. Makkah time. So changes happen all the time. The best way is to make sure that the information you have is the most accurate information is to stay tuned in our WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Can you please post the Google link drive here? Yes, of course. I'm more than happy to do that. I apologize. You know what I did? I set it to only be sent to the hosts and panelists instead of everyone. So I'll go ahead and add it in the chat of the webinar as well. But I'm also going to go ahead and brother and sister put it in the Q&A. I didn't see the link in the group chat. Yes, I apologize. It's because I didn't do it right. Okay. Walaikum Assalam. I've seen a lot of companies, not just in Hajj, but never seen such organized. Jazakallah khair, brother. Yes, for always your words of encouragement. We really appreciate it. And hopefully, inshallah, we can help you and your parents make it on Hajj this year. Can we preview packages before round three goes live? Unfortunately, from everything we know so far, everything will be grayed out until round three for you. Can you please share the page for round three sales time and date? So that's what you're going to have to do, Brother Muhammad, is follow us on Telegram or WhatsApp. And once we have the exact information, we'll go ahead and share it with you. Walaikum Assalam. Which hour at the day of sale starts the sales? So we don't have this information yet. The ministry hasn't announced it. As soon as they do, we'll go ahead and update you in the group chat. I apologize. I know a lot of your questions are very similar, but I want to make sure that I'm answering them in case people are missing them. But basically, the short answer to the answer of when round three sales is going to start is we don't know, right? We know the tentative date is scheduled for the 19th, but everything is in the hands of the ministry. And because round three is essentially an unofficial round, right? It's dependent on whether there's quota left. It doesn't get as much information. There isn't as much information put out in advance of the sales starting, right? So round one, round two are the official rounds. Round three, we always kind of know there's going to be a round three because we know there's a lot of countries that won't be able to use their full quota. But because it's technically not like official until round three is round two is over and the remaining quota is actually sitting there. We don't get a lot of information beforehand. So it's really, really important to just stick in the groups to stay up to date in that way. The other thing we do is we go ahead and reach out to the call center and let them know that, hey, I want to get put onto your text alert system. If you happen to not look at WhatsApp that often, we set up this text alert system for the round one, and we're more than happy to include you in round two, three if you weren't included in round one. So that you get text alerts when sales goes live and stuff like that. Let's take a look here. Okay, there's two good questions that we have here in the chat, so I am going to go ahead and address them. The first one is, I'm going to read the question out for you guys, is I am under the impression that last year the ministry added 10K more visas to the quota. Do we anticipate this to happen again this year? The direct and very clear answer from the ministry is no. They've been saying this since September that they will not be able to add the additional visas that they were able to add last year. Of course, I have to give my answer based on what the ministry is saying. And so they've made it very, very clear from their end that whatever remaining of the 35 is there, that will be available. But there's not going to be an additional 10K added this year because that amount has been allocated to a different project within Hajj. So unfortunately, we're working with the 35,000. For a party of two, husband and wife wanting to stay together, do we select single occupancy times two or double occupancy times two? You would choose double occupancy type two. And just sister or brother from your question, it sounds like you may still be in the earlier planning stages of your figuring out what would be the best option for you. So what I'm going to do here is share the link to our YouTube video for our Packages 360 webinar. In that, what I do is I go into detail about every single categorization on Nusuk, right? What does Nusuk mean by luxury premium standard? What does Nusuk mean by shifting, non-shifting? What do they mean by double, triple, quad? And so you may find that beneficial, inshallah. So in case that link doesn't work for you that you see in the chat over there, it's basically you can scan the QR code for the link tree, and it will take you to our to our YouTube channel, or you can just look up Noor Al-Fajr on YouTube. And we have a webinar by the name of Packages 360, put out about a week or two ago. And so actually exactly a week ago. And so that should hopefully be beneficial to you as far as figuring out, the best option for you. Brother Khalid is asking about a round two for the USA. There actually is not going to be a round two for the USA because we completely sold out our packages, or sorry, our visa quota in round one. So round two, not available to us. Round three, when they open it up for everyone again, we'll be able to participate. So hopefully, inshallah, that answers most of your questions. If you have any additional questions, we'll be taking a 1 hour break to talk to the folks who were able to secure a package during the first round of sales. And then we'll be back at 9 o'clock, New York time, in about an hour and 5 minutes, to discuss the to have open office hours or virtual office hours where you can go ahead and ask any additional remaining questions. So, inshallah, let's take a look here. We'll go ahead and end this session for today. But thank you so much for joining, and inshallah, see you in the group chats and in the next webinar. Assalamu alaikum.